Hello guys, it's Dmitry here, and today I would like to talk about a new topic. I'm not going to talk about arrays for now. I will just start with from a new topic. So, in this topic, it's going to be about so-called default parameters. Okay, let's jump into that, guys. Before I start coding, I would like to tell you one thing. Remember functions? Remember parameters? And parameters, probably as you remember, it's a input that you give to a function, right? And based on these parameters, again, there are functions that accept parameters, right? And also we have some function that we're not passing parameters at all, probably. It depends on the function that you have to come up with. But today I'm going to talk about functions where you, in some cases, you're going to pass parameters, right? Okay, let's come up with an example. I'm going to create a new function. I will call this function return sum. So keyword function, then the name of the function, brackets, and curly braces. As you remember, that's how we create a function in JavaScript. So now I would like to call this function, right? And as you remember, we just need to specify the name of the actual function. Return, and VS Code already give us autocomplete. So return sum. Guys, here in this bracket, as you remember, we can define the parameters that we can pass to this function, and I would like to do that. So here I'm going to specify two parameters. I'm going to call them A and B, and here I'm going to pass actual values of these parameters. I can say 1 and 3. So inside of this function, what I would like to do with these parameters, I'm going to define a new variable. I will call this sum, and predictably this variable, or I'm going to assign the adding of these two parameters to this variable. So A plus B. Cool. Guys, in this case, if we console that out, we should come up with 4, right? Which is kind of logical, right? 1 plus 3, which is 4. Let's run it. 4. So predictably easy, simple with that. Nothing special about that. The problem is, why you like in situation if you just don't want to pass anything here, right? But you still would like to specify these parameters just in case, you know? Maybe in the future you decide to pass something to this function, or maybe you always would like to pass something to this function, but you don't want to define, like sometimes you don't want to define anything when you're calling the function. So in this case, guys, we're using so-called default parameters or default values for these parameters. So I will show you. For example, when I say I'm not passing anything to these parameters, or not defining any values to these parameters, right? In these cases, I'm just saying, please assign 0 to A, and please assign 0 to B. By the way, guys, before that, okay, let's just return back for a bit. Let's just run this program. What? NaN. What is it, guys? Okay, I will explain you. The issue is, if you log out here, and if you just would like to log out A, So what it's going to do, my goodness, cannot type, what's wrong with me? So let's run it. You can see it. What the heck? A is undefined. Alright guys, that's the thing about JavaScript. If you're not specifying anything or not passing anything to this parameter, then that's how JavaScript behaves. The value of this a parameter is going to be undefined, which is not exactly what you want, right? Like, what is it undefined? It just then later on, if a undefined and b is undefined, and then you would like to, adding these two undefined things, then you come up with not a number. So essentially, it doesn't make any sense, and we kind of, we came up with the result that doesn't make any sense, right, to us, to our like program, right? So, and in order to avoid that, and again, you should remember about this behavior, that this is the default JavaScript behavior, right? And that's why, like, in order to avoid this kind of behavior, JavaScript has a solution. So we can define so-called default values for these parameters. What I'm saying now, if A and B, like, they're not accepting anything, any value, then please assign these values, zeros, to these parameters. So let's run it now. So you can see, like, A now is equal to 0, and A plus B, which is 0 plus 0, which is sum, right? In this case, sum also equal to 0, which just kind of makes sense, right? Now it does make sense, right? Before it didn't make any sense. So that's how these default parameters, they are really useful. I think, guys, let's just move on to another example with these parameters, with default values. So now I would like to rename this function. I'm going to call it return full name, I guess, because I just would like this kind of function. So, and then I'm going to say, okay, nothing here, first name, then I'm going to define last name. What? Last name. So, and again, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to specify, as you remember, we have this kind of functionality which is called template literals. So, and I'm going to say here first name, then I'm going to specify just space. By the way, guys, just please practice too, not just watching. It's really important that you're practicing. I just remind you, I'm sure like you do, but just in case. So, okay, let's run it. By the way, I need to call this function, right? I didn't change the name. So if we run it now, undefined, again, predictable, right? Because we're not passing anything to these parameters, and that's why we come up with undefined, this space undefined, and which is again doesn't make any sense. So I just would like to define none and predictably none. So, and now if I run, here we go, now none. So essentially I'm saying, if you're not passing anything to these parameters, please just like assign none to both of these parameters, and that's why I received none. But now I would like to specify name, first name and last name. I'm going to specify my name. So let's see. Here we go, Dmitry Key. Pretty cool stuff, guys. Please use it, and remember all the small details. It looks probably, oh, nothing fancy about that, you know, just another functionality. But all the small pieces, when you sum them up, or like the total, when you put them in the same bucket, the bucket after some time is going to be full, right? And you can utilize all these things. You can grab all these tools from the bucket later on and just use them, right, on in your everyday, you know, software like development process. So guys, practice. If you didn't get something, just please rewatch it. But I'm pretty sure like it's not such a complicated topic, so it should be fine. Thank you very much, guys, for your attention, for watching. Please subscribe, please like this video if you liked it, and let's move on. I'm going to move to another tutorial later on, and hopefully you know, we will come up with a new really exciting topics, and I'm pretty sure we will, because it's JavaScript. It's exciting place to be in. Goodbye, guys.